A while back I was invited by Zane and Josh of the HDMIBoy team to come over and play on their prototype HDMIBoy. Some of you might be wondering what this is all about, so here's a short description. The HDMIBoy is a hardware addition that will make your Game Boy output HDMI signals to, for example, a flat screen television or a projector. It also outputs the signal and in future will allow you to create several color palettes that you can use to display your games in. So, being the host of a show called Massive DMG or Massive Damage, I just had to see it for myself. So me and my trusty camera woman Jessica ended up in a hackerspace called HDMIBoy, which was the proving grounds of the HDMIBoy. Unfortunately, part of the interview has been lost due to the fact that we had some audio issues, but the rest of the interview has been kept intact. So, if some skipping occurs during editing, I apologize in advance, but let's just see how everything is going with me and Josh in the hackerspace. So, Josh, you started a Kickstarter recently to try and get this fabricated in a factory, I believe, and to bring it to the masses. Because right now you have a prototype that is working, as you might be able to see in the back, but you plan on making it bigger and able for everyone to get a copy if they so desire.
Exactly. The Kickstarter campaign is to bring HDMIBoy to the masses, because nearly everyone who used to play Game Boy, and no, actually everyone who used to play on the Game Boy and has tested out the HDMIBoy, has completely fallen in love with it. And well, I would just want to share this experience with the world, and it's also fun trying to bring a product to the market. So that's primarily the main motivations behind the project.
Yeah, just to have fun and spread the joy of having a Game Boy in HDMI resolution at your fingertips.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, because we kind of met through Twitter, I believe. Of Massive Damage, just me and the camera woman behind it, and you. Yeah, it was a bit of a good timing in the fact that we are pretty close by to each other. It's only about an hour drive without the traffic jams and everything, anything else. But it should be an hour drive for us to meet up, so it's very interesting to see actual fellow Dutchmen, so to say, or people located in the Netherlands, working on a Nintendo Game Boy, which saves a lot of travel expenses to make this video. But it looks really impressive. Could you tell us a bit about the technology behind it, or do you want to keep it a secret for now?
I suppose I could tell you.
Lift the veil a bit.
I could lift the veil a bit.
Yeah. Give it a scoop for our viewers.
Exactly. So yeah, I designed a custom circuit board to fit inside the Game Boy. What it does is, if you take your Game Boy and look inside, you can see that this cable running between one half and the other circuit board sits in between these two halves, takes the cable and reads the signals which are running over it. So I can see what's being sent to the screen, I can see which buttons are being pressed, I can check the sound and also send that over HDMI. That's basically the trick, the technique behind it. This cable here. That's also one of the reasons why it's so easy to install, because there is no soldering whatsoever. You just need to put this cable in the HDMIBoy, take another cable, put it on the back, connect it to the other half, and there you go.
Okay. So basically, if we grab a Game Boy like this, you screw it open and there will be a thin layer between it which supports the HDMI port.
Yeah.
And then you can basically keep on playing. So the screen will actually work.
Yeah, the screen will continue working.
And you can just output it to the screen.
Exactly.
Alright. So yeah, that sounds really good, Josh. I really can't wait to start playing. So maybe we'll have a chance right now to show everybody what the practicalities are of the HDMIBoy, and we'll give it a bit of a test run.
That would be cool.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
This is going to be the first time I'll be playing on the HDMIBoy, which is a very interesting experience to say the least. It is a bit bulkier than you are expected from it, but it's not any way obstructing your handle on the Game Boy. In fact, it feels a bit more ergonomical than the regular old one. So right now we're going to play Starhawk, which is a European exclusive game, which is quite hard to find, but I always end up finding one anyways. So this is the attract mode. It looks a bit suggestive, and that might just be the reason why we're playing this. Oh yeah. So basically, Joshua, this is not an upscaler we are dealing with, right? In a technical sense. Or is it a bit of a grey area?
Yeah,
a bit of a grey brick area.
Oh god. Did you
yes, I made a grey brick remark.
What we're actually doing is we're redrawing the screen actually.
Okay.
It's kind of like upscaling, except that we're using, I think they call it near neighbor upscaling.
Okay. So it checks the pixels around the exact pixel and see what the value is.
No, what I do is I read every pixel being sent to the screen.
Yeah.
And I can redraw that pixel exactly 7 times bigger than the original one.
Okay.
Because of this, and because I know where every pixel is located, you don't get any blurring whatsoever. Because the HDMyBoy knows where every pixel needs to go.
Okay, so this is, well, literally pixel perfect Game Boy viewing.
Pixel perfect.
Okay. Well, as you can see with Starhawk, it uses a bit of a different mode of showing the background and everything. But it's a great game to show the actual contrast and the sharpness of the image. So we're going to have a bit of a playthrough. I must say I'm not really good at this game. That's why I already upped it to 5 lives instead of 2. But let's see how this goes. Right now the actual sound is coming from the Game Boy, but this is a prototype. So it will be output through HDMI, from what I gather.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there is no lag or whatsoever that I notice, and I really like the feeling of this playing just on a very big screen instead of being hunched over a very dark LCD screen or dot matrix with stereo sound, whatever screen.
It's quite a pretty game actually.
Yeah. As you can see, it uses different sets of brightness for the colors in order to simulate a bit of a background or backdrop, so to say. So I thought this would make an excellent testing game. And I'm trying to concentrate on the game all while talking about this. But as you can see in the background, there's no ghosting as I can see. I mean, it is choppy, but it's mainly the Game Boy doing its work than the actual image that is being shown. So it looks really good. Foreign the player were a bit more experienced with this. Do you want to give it a shot?
Yeah, sure. That's cool.
We'll switch places. So, when about is the Kickstarter going to end?
I believe it's the 26th.
So around Christmas.
Yeah, I think Boxing Day.
Boxing Day, okay.
It's going to be at 8:30 in the evening.
Okay. So if you see this and you think this is really amazing, and you know it is, we'll provide a link to the Kickstarter page where you can order yourself one of these awesome little hardware editions. And just to repeat, it is not intrusive. There's no soldering required. It's just a basically a bit of plastic with a chip that you put between your Game Boy, and there you have it, just non-intrusive HDMI output with sound. Later on there's going to be a NES controller add-on that will be included, so that you can actually leave your Game Boy for what it is and just grab an NES controller and play it. The details on that will be available on the Kickstarter page, which you should be able to visit in the link right here. But yeah, right now just playing on the Game Boy itself is already feeling great and natural, so there's no detriment to the experience. It actually enhances it because of the fact that you can actually see the game in front of you in all its glory, its pixely glory. There are going to be some color palettes that you can adjust. How does that work, really?
So the Game Boy has, the original Game Boy has 4 different colors on the screen.
Yeah.
What HDMyBoy does, it reads the colors from the pixels and it can map it to a different color and display that on the screen.
Right.
Currently this setup only has 1 palette inside of it, but we're aiming to put 24 different palettes in the HDMI.
Okay. So is that the same way as a GBA does it? Like you have to press up and B before you start or something like that? So does it read the button input before you start it? Or is there a switch or anything?
We thought about using the buttons, but we're afraid to interfere with the Game Boy's working.
Yeah.
So we've opted for putting a button on the side.
Okay.
Most likely.
Yeah. Well, that makes it a bit more easier for people to change it instead of having to do it on boot. But it can be done on the fly.
Yeah, then it would be done on the fly.
Okay. So that's another thing why you should buy this thing, because it adds a palette swap in it as well. As a final test, we're going to play the most retarded game on the Game Boy. No offense to anyone who is a train buff, but this is Train Simulator for the Nintendo Game Boy. And it's called Densha to Go, which means something like Go Go Train. As you can see, it is made by Coconuts Japan. So Josh, if you would do the honors.
It's
in Japanese.
it's already too complicated for me, but
we are not trained engineers, so if anything goes wrong, you have the luxury of choosing between the Yamanote line and some other line.
Oh, I think I'm going to go for the that one with the squiggly lines.
Yes, let's do that. So this is your schedule. It's a trip that takes about 1.6 kilometers.
Okay.
And I think you have to put it in first gear somehow. Now you're going in reverse.
Okay, so wait. Yeah.
Okay. I think A is forward, or the up button is forward.
It's already on 6. It's like
maybe press start to start the train. No, it's pause. This was an actual game being sold for the Game Boy.
Everyone's going to be too late.
Oh, wait. Oh. You only have 2 minutes. You're going a wonderfully fast 0. Oh, it's going. You're going forward.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. At breakneck speed of 18 kilometers per hour. But the flickering, I'm not sure if you can pick it up on the camera. But that is due to a trick the programmers have used in order to make it a bit more transparent. So if it's annoying you, feel free to skip to the end. So we are going at 75 kilometers an hour. And I think we are almost halfway.
Oh, wait.
So up in the right you can see where you are on the track. So we have a bit to go. So would you really spend 50 euros on this?
Sorry.
You were entranced. So would you really spend that much money on a Game Boy game that only has a train track that goes forward?
No.
I think it's better invested if you spend your money on the HDMIBoy instead than buying games like this. So yeah, for more information, we refer to the Kickstarter page, which is still up and running. So yeah, go buy this stuff. It is worth it. As soon as I get my paycheck in, I'll be popping by for a visit again and see what we can do. But thank you, Josh.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. And maybe later on, Massive Damage will be in full HD through the HDMI, and we'll get a bit of a quality boost going on.
That would be cool.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why HDMyBoy exists.
Right. So thank you all for watching, and see you next time on a new Massive Damage episode.